The story begins with an orphan girl named Wisteria. She is begging on the street so that she can get some money for her survival, but hardly anyone pays attention to her. We see an old man standing next to her, who is a church father and keeping an eye on her in the next scene. The old man starts beating Wisteria. Then we come to know that he makes orphans to beg, but she only managed to get 6 pence today, so he is angry and tells her that she is absolutely worthless. After this, he throws the plate of food on her face in anger and leaves from here. However, she can't do anything and starts eating the dirty food. She explains that her life is hard right now, but it is not all bad because there is a window on the farthest side of the attic, and when she knocks on it 3 times after midnight, a powerful immortal demon comes there. His name is Marbas and he likes to spend time with her. So this is the way she arranges. A secret meeting between herself and an immortal demon. Wisteria starts talking to him and she is happy that he came to see her again. Just then the old man comes here. He gets angry at her because she is still awake after midnight. However, only Wisteria is able to see Marmas, so the old man cannot see him now. He threatens Wisteria because he has told her to get up early again tomorrow, but if she cannot make any money again, she must be ready for another beating. After that, the old man leaves Marmos, watches all this, but doesn't help Wisteria. He tells her that it may be strange for a demon like himself to say something like this, but someone who makes an orphan beg in the street for money does not deserve to call himself father. However, Wisteria says that the old man takes care of her and it is not begging because those who hear of her tale on the streets become so moved that they give her money. That's why she thinks that it is proper compensation and she is doing real work here now. Marba seems to agree with her and says that this is one way to put it after this. He starts thinking about that time when it had already been a month wandering here, but there was not anyone who could see him, so he feels bad, because if there is no one to acknowledge him, it is the same as not being there. So he must continue existing for eternity in this body that will never die. Then, one day he notices Wisteria begging on the street, but hardly anyone feels pity at all. After seeing her wretched look and even a man pushes her back seeing her condition, Marvis feels bad. He asks her if she really plans to continue this until she dies and if she does not get sick of living like this. But he then realizes that he is taking out his frustrations on someone who neither see nor hear him. However, Wisteria is able to see him and she gets so scared. Now, Marvis is surprised if she really can see him. Just then the old man comes here and takes Wisteria with him in the next scene. She is sitting in her room. Just then Marvis also comes here, and she remembers that he is the one she saw earlier today now. She is scared that he followed her here, but Marmos asks her if she really can see demons such as him, to which Wisteria replies it is ever since she was born. However, she is wondering if he has come to take her soul. Then Marvis tells her that he was just fascinated by the novelty of a human that could see him, and that is all hearing. This Wisteria feels relaxed and asks him if he can perhaps tells her a story until she falls asleep, but Marvis asks her the reason, to which she replies that she just has a feeling she won't be having any good dreams tonight. Now Marba starts spending time with her and feels happy. Scene changes to the present and Wisteria asks him what story he is going to tell her today. Then Marbles warns her that she is asking for another story before bed. So she should not blame him if she gets hit again tomorrow, because she could not wake up. But Wisteria is happy and says that this is the only thing she has to look forward to, because when she listens to his stories it feels like she is traveling herself. Now Marba agrees to tell her a new story, and this is the story about the same time when he saw one of Shakespeare's plays here in London. In the next scene, we see a demon hunter named Snow. Suddenly a demon tries to attack him from behind, but he escapes all its attacks and shoots it with his gun. He thinks that the demon is dead, but it is still alive and tries to attack him. Just then, another demon hunter comes here and saves him by cutting its tongue. Now Snow takes the chance and kills it by shooting its head. Take Nami advises Snow not to let his guard down, but Snow tells him that he never asked him to help him. However, Take Nami is his superior and tells him that the demon that was seen in London was a high-level demon. On the other hand, Wisteria is so happy listening the story. She expects that it must have been even more amazing in the actual theater. Marba then tells her that he has seen all of the famous ones, but they were all mediocre because they do not really live up to their reputation. Wisteria tells him that she is sure he does not have any friends, to which Marvis asks what she is talking about. Now, Wisteria says that for someone who has lived so long, he does not understand how others feel at all. Then Marvis tells her that cannot be true because, through only for a short time, he can turn into a human knowing about it. Wisteria is surprised and Marba reveals that, in this form, other humans can also see him. That's why it is not as though he did not have the opportunity to talk to others as she seems to think, but it is nerve-wracking and exhausting. So he can't use it often, and when ladies see this form, it rouses desire to pursue him, and that causes quite a stir. After that, Marvis comes back to his demon form. Suddenly, Wisteria starts laughing, so Marvis asks her what humorous was about anything he just said, but Wisteria says that if he can't figure that out, he still has a lot to learn. After this, Marba starts leaving and promises to come by again. Wisteria thanks him, because since she met him, she can look forward to tomorrow, and ever since she was little, she has always hated his eyes because she can see things that others can't and people always feared her. So nothing good ever happened to her, but now because her eyes can see him, they are something that she has treasure. Now Marbles leaves from here. He wonders why she is just an unfortunate child who just happens to be able to see him and why he keeps coming back to visit her next day. The old man tells Wisteria that he has finally found a buyer for her. Wisteria is shocked to hear this. The old man then asks her if she really thinks just begging would be enough to keep her fed, but that was just to show her off, because his job is to take in and feed orphans that might clean up well and then to sell them now. Wisteria becomes sad listening this. The old man tells her that she is an exceptionally pretty girl, so she is ending up in the hands of a land-owning aristocrat instead of a brothel, and she might live a decent life. After all the old man tells her that she will be handed off tomorrow, so she should enjoy her last supper. Until then, Wisteria is so sad about it and tells everything to Marvis. Then Marvis realizes that the old man is a slave trader. Now Wisteria starts remembering about her brother because he was also taken away just like this when he was very young. However, she was told that her brother would be taken into a mansion to be an attendant, but she has not heard from him since, and later when she asked about the mansion, no one had ever heard of it, so she has understood that they have both been tricked and they are just going to keep suffering after this. She requests Marvis to take her away from this place because she doesn't want to suffer like this anymore, but Marba can't do this. Hearing this, Wisteria asks him the reason. Then Marvis explains that it would go against a code. The demons follow. That's why if they save a human without exacting a price, their bodies will retaliate and start to crumble, and that is how they are made. Listening this, Wisteria requests him just to take her soul already, because she knows that demons can take a human soul or something precious to them in exchange for granting their wish. She used to think there was no point in having her wish granted if she had to give her life for it. But if Marvis took it from her, she could accept that, because her brother was the only person she could consider important to her, and now that he is gone, so all she has is Marba. Now Marvis asks her if she knows why demons seek out souls, but Wisteria does not know the reason. Then Marvis tells her that it is because they can add what they have taken to their own lifespan, but he is immortal and forever young, so there is no point in him taking more life, and, on the contrary, he is so bored that he wishes he could just be done with this. Knowing about this, Wisteria realizes that he does not need anything anymore. Next day, Wisteria leaves from here. Marvis is also sad and watching her. He starts remembering about that time when Wisteria asked him why he came to London. Then Marvis replied perhaps it was to relieve some boredom. Just then Snow and Take Nami come here. They ask the old man to open the door, and Marvis notices sword cross knight pendant in Snow's neck. After some time, the old man opens the door and asks them what they want. On the other hand, Wisteria meets a rich man who has bought her. His servant forces her to greet the rich man, but the rich man asks him to calm down and pretends to be nice with Wisteria. He tells her that she has nothing to fear and, starting today, she is his child. After that, he takes Wisteria with him in a room, but when she sees so many torture devices and tools there, she gets scared. Suddenly, then, the rich man closes the door. On the other hand, Snow is threatening the old man. He tells him that they are tracking down a demon's presence and it led them here. That's why Snow believes that the old man knows anything about that, but the old man does not know about it. Listening this, Snow hits him hard and throws him outside. Snow says that they know what business he is actually running here, so they would have no problem shutting it down. Hearing this, the old man stops him. He says that he does not know about demons, but Wisteria would often talk to herself at night. Listening this, Snow asks him about Wisteria. Then the old man tells him that he sold her up to some rich lord, and from what he heard, he was a freak who got off on torturing kids. Now Snow gets angry and punches him hard, but Marvis has heard all this and he immediately leaves to save Wisteria. Just then Snow and Takenami feels something is weird and their measurement apparatus is going crazy. On the other hand, the rich man wants to torture Wisteria, so she is trying to protect herself. Meanwhile, she comes to know that one of his hands is prosthetic and it is actually a torture tool. However, Wisteria escapes and tries to run away from here. Suddenly she stumbles and falls on the floor. Now, the rich man captures her and says that she can't escape this mention. Just then Marvis comes here and the rich man asks him, "Who is?" He marbles, then throws a bag of money on the ground and says that he is here for the girl, but the rich man says that he has really gotten a specimen as fine as her. So he does not care how much he has got, but he is not taking her from him now. Marvis has decided to save a human, so the blood starts coming out from his mouth and his body is already retaliating. Seeing this, Wisteria runs toward him and the rich man tries to catch her, but Marvis throws him away and injures him badly. Wisteria comes to Marbles and asks why he is doing this, to which Marvis says he thought he had grown bored of everything and he had nothing left to see in this world, but the nights he spent with her were the only times he could forget about his boredom, so he feels that it was not bad and it had been so long since he felt like that. He tells Wisteria that he had given up on having any further desires, but it appears as though he wants a future together with her hearing. This Wisteria also becomes sad and starts weeping. Suddenly a demon closes the door and they realize that the rich man made a pact with it. The demon tries to attack Wisteria, but Marba protects her. He starts fighting with it, but his body has become weak, so the demon starts injuring him easily. He tells Marbles that he has not made a pact, so he cannot beat it after breaking the rule. After this, it gathers all its power and going to use its final attack. However, Marvis decides that he is not going to last. Just then Wisteria comes in front of him and tells him to make a pact. She decides to sacrifice her eyes because that allow her to see him, so these are the most important to her. This is how Wisteria makes a pact with him and he uses his power to destroy Demon's attack. Now Marvis comes back to his true form. He says that Wisteria is not someone that worthless filth like it can touch. The demon is surprised to see him and call him Lord, because he is actually one of the 13 calamities. Now Marvis calls it vermin and uses his power to kill it, making a huge fire. He comes out with Wisteria catching her in his arms, but he calls her fool because he had just made up his mind to see all kinds of things in this world with her, to which Wisteria says that this was the only thing she could offer. So now she just needs him to see everything for her and tell her all about the wonderful things that still remain in this world. Then Marvis says that after all, they have made the pact. He asks her where they should go and he has never been so excited to plan a journey before. After some time, Snow and Takenami find the rich man who is still alive. Snow asks him if the red-haired demon that barged in here ran up with the girl, but the rich man says that it is too bad because he has not had a good peace like her for a while. Hearing this, Snow gets angry and starts punching him hard. He then asks Takenami if he is going to let him take care of this one, to which Takenami tells him that their mission is to eradicate all of the demons in this world, so he can continue killing them until he happened to run into that one. Then Snow says that just a little longer and he will be able to see Wisteria. Also, he promises to save her. At night we see a dilapidated building where Snow is threatening demons. This demon looks like a bat who is terrified enough to death. Demon pleads with him to spare, but he is not in the mood to leave him. Also, Snow inquires about the red-haired demon. He doubts him, so he wants to know more and more about him. The bat demon is shivering because of fear and replies that he doesn't know. The bat demon cannot complete his statement because Snow has killed him with his gun. As a result, the bat demon starts screaming because of pain and vaporates like water. In addition, he repents that he is unable to catch him, but next time Snow has decided not to spare him at any cost. Scene changes when Marvis takes Wisteria to the rundown house. Wisteria is blind. Now, that's why she is dashing with other things in the house. So Marvis asks her to sit on the wooden chair. She is surprised that Marvis has the house to live in, so he explains that he has taken this house from humans in form of a contract, but this place is dirty and also needs to clean up. So he asks her to mop this mess up, but she can't see things. That's why she cannot clean the house, and the most shocking thing is that Marbles has to sweep the house after putting in so much hard work. He has cleaned up the house. Even the house starts shining and Wisteria can smell good. Now soon she can hear voices that are coming from her stomach. She reveals to him that she is hungry. In addition, she hasn't eaten anything since yesterday, so her body needs energy that can only grasp from the meal. Apart from this, Marbles knows that human needs food to live now. He needs to take her outside for food and shopping. Although he is tired, he takes her outside. Scene changes when he asks her to try many dresses. He wants to make her as beautiful and elegant as much as can because she is in his custody, and he wants to take care of her as much as possible when she tries on a dress. It is frilly and she tries another that proves puffy, but he doesn't lose heart and asks her to change to another big one when he inquires about her size. She asks him to leave her because she can buy her clothes herself and she is shy in front of him. Marvis does as she says and chooses the dress she wants outside when he goes. There are several dresses, but she cannot see them now. She plans to call the clerk so that he can help her to select the perfect one. Meanwhile, she is encountered by a lady who is wearing a black dress. There is another boy with her who is her guard. The guard knows that this girl is blind. Also, the girl in the black dress asks to be humble with a girl. She inquires about her then, and she gives her a proper introduction. Her name is Diana Blackbelt and she belongs to the Earl. It means she belongs to the elite class in Wisteria who has suffered. A lot has compelled her to bow down in front of her, but Diana is humble and inquires about what she is doing here. It can be dangerous for her to come here, so she is concerned about her. Listeria replies that she is not alone and coming here with someone. Furthermore, he will come here to take her with him. In the meantime, both decide to shop all together. Diana has never enjoyed the shopping experience with another girl, so she is more excited to have a beautiful experience with Wisteria. Both have become good friends. The guard knows that it's going to be time taking. In the meantime, Diana asks him to wait and guard the dog, but he rejects her statement because he is not a guard dog. Thus he orders her to come back after an hour. Now she wants to grab the perfect clothes for her outstanding appearance when the guard is going. He inquires whether Wisteria is cat, but she watches him in bewilderment and the guard rejects his idea. Apart from this, Marvis thinks he should take her from the shop. He is also watching the clock in his hand, which provokes her to take her. Meanwhile, he feels the presence of another demon. The guard has transformed into a dog after coming out from the clothes shop. At the same time, Marba looks at him and inquires if he is Nabrius now. Nabrius also recognized him and asked the reason for not presenting at the dog sex scene. Jumps to the past where everything is burning and we can see the doll-like figure, but he is standing on his feet and talking as if Marbles and Nabrius can. He is actually Nabrius, one of the 13 calamities of the wasteland. Also, he is the watchdog of the netherworld, and potent Davrius also wants to inquire and tells him something. So he asks him to talk with him in loneliness. Both agree and Marvis follows him in the following scene. Both dressed and thanked each other for choosing a fabulous dress. When Diana comes outside, then she looks at Marvis with Navrius. She inquires if he is his friend, but he is not ready to accept soon. Wisteria also has realized that the person standing with Nabarius is Marbles. Diana asks him if her red coat looks great on her, but he gives her a negative reply instead and he has no concern for her. She becomes furious at his reply. Meanwhile, Wisteria has too much attached to her and asks if they can meet again. Diana is so kind and humbled that she allows them to come to her house. So Wisteria can go to her house whenever she wants to go after that. She follows him because Navrius is gone. Marbles also takes her to the elite restaurant and asks about her shopping experience. It is a fantastic experience and Marbles asks her to be normal because they are in a private restaurant. Therefore, she should only care about manners a little, but she still thinks she will break the plate if she touches them. Marvis has also realized that she is confused and decided to do as he thinks. He takes a spoon of soup and moves to her. But she is feeling shy about having it and he inquires whether she wants to be her slave or a lady with whom he will take care of her. Then she opens her mouth and consumes after consuming. She cannot restrain herself from sharing that this soup is mouth-watering. She also inquires about the dish's name and Marbles reads out the dish's name to satisfy her. This dish's name is a seasonal vegetable soup and she loves a lot. She also offers him food with her, but he doesn't want to eat human food. Wisteria is overjoyed because he never eats such delicious food before she also shares an incident when her brother shares a piece of bread with her. Although she cannot find him, but she misses him a lot because her brother has struggled a lot to earn the food and she is proud of him. In addition, she wants to give him a chance so he can be proud of her. Meanwhile, we also see Snow who is searching for his sister. He also looks at the girl whose hairs are similar to her sister's. He becomes disappointed when he looks at her face because she is not his sister. Seeing jumps to the present, where Marvis feels pity for her and starts eating with her. Both are enjoying this time and also having fun. After some time, Marvis looks shocked because they have eaten all the food. Meanwhile, Wisteria starts weeping when Marvis inquires about the reason for crying. Then she reveals that no one had eaten with her. The only Marvis is the person who joined her while eating after his brother. So she is thankful to him and wants to spend her entire life with him, but he tells her not to be so grateful because whatever he does is for his purpose. He then discloses that he is sick of life and enough bored to death. So he has taken her for enjoyment and is taking her as hobbies. However, he takes her very seriously, not like humans, who are only 50 years old, so he is going to spend more and more time with her and will take care of her. She is the only one who takes him out of the boredom by listening to his words. She has concluded that he will not leave her. Marvis also has approved her words after hearing that he is taking her as a hobby. She should be angry. On the contrary, she is happy because Marbles will not leave her. Seeing changes when he wanders on the roads right now, Marvis is in human form. Also thinking about Neighbor's information, he has informed him that the committer of atrocities has also lost a dangerous demon. If this information is appropriate, then the hunter will also come to hunt them, so he is worried about him. Meanwhile, Snow, who is also passing by the same road, looks at him. Barbara's appearance exactly looks as the older man has said. Furthermore, his long red hair and strong sixth senses tell him this person is strange, so he starts following him. Soon Marbles also realizes that someone is chasing him. Seeing changes when Marba sits in the restaurant and Snow also appears. He takes permission to sit with him, but under the table he points the gun at him. He tells him that he is Wisteria's brother and wants to meet with her. He also inquires about his relationship with her, but Marvis is not responding and just listening to him properly. In the meantime, he thinks Demon doesn't help anyone without consideration. So if he is helping his sister, then there is his purpose behind it. Snow informs him that he is going to take her sister back. Also, a waiter puts the tea in front of him that he doesn't order at this time. Marvis turns into a demon and tells him that his sister is the only reason to get rid of his boredom. He also entangles his gun's hand with his red hair so that he can't shoot him. Marvis tells him to meet him in the eastern outskirts of the town. He also informs him to come to the forest alone where he can meet with his sister. Marvis also knows that this scene is going to be entertaining for him. While returning, he memorizes the words of Wisteria, who wants to live with him. Also, Snow wants to take her with him. Suddenly, Marbles becomes furious and doesn't know why he is angry. Furthermore, he went to his house and asked her to pack her luggage, since they would move soon. She is shocked because taking so many belongings will be challenging to move on, but he tells him he is not alone in carrying the things when he takes her out with him. Her brother is outside and happy to see her. A statement in his hand also depicts that if he tries to do anything, he will kill her. Snow inquires about where they are going. She replies that they will watch the world and cannot recognize her brother. Meanwhile, Snow discloses that he is her brother and can't permit her to go with the demon. By saying this, he aims his gun at him and shoots, but these bullets are nothing before him because he is strong. Wisteria is also happy that bullets can't hurt him. Snow says she should be happy by meeting with him and doesn't think about him, but Wisteria responds that she is happy with him, so he can't hurt Marvis because he has helped her a lot. In addition, she also warns Marvis not to hurt his brother, otherwise she will not forgive him. However, Marvis has no intention of hurting him, but Snow thinks she is trapped by a demon and wants to kill him. Meanwhile, Marvis also reveals the contract that she has done with him. She has given her eyes to him so that Marbles could stay with him. By hearing this, Snow gets mad because he has strict orders to kill the demon, but if a human tries to indulge with a demon, they are also involved in this crime. So he can't let go and decides to kill him. He again aims at his gun and shoots at him continuously, but his red hairs are protecting him. Larbus is also in wrath and snatches his gun with his red hair and throws it away, but he is still shooting at him with his pistol, and Marvis holds these blue bullets with his hair. After that, he runs into the forest and Marbles thinks he is gone, but it's not true and he is hidden behind the tree. Thinking of an entirely proof plan to kill him because all bullets are proving futile, so he decides to kill him with a heart. Heart Knocker has killed the demon, but he needs to use it properly. Thus he runs in front of him to provoke him, and he is caused enough to injure him. Marvin uses his finger to create fire and burns the forest where Snow is supposed to be, but Snow is cautious and suddenly throws a holy water vessel on him. This holy water starts burning him and he cannot counterattack him. Meanwhile, the smoke disappears and Snow appears gone in his hand. Wisteria is worried about Marvelous. She runs to him and Snow shoots him. Snow is shocked because the bullet is going to hurt her, but Marvis makes a quick movement and comes in front of her. A heart knocker penetrates his hand and he is injured, but he asks her not to worry about him. Snow is shocked at how a demon can protect his contractor. Also, he has realized that this demon is different and will always protect. His sister Varvis also has gotten an answer to his question that a contract is worth more than family relations, but Wisteria clears his misunderstanding. That she is not all doing for the contract. Seeing jumps to the past when she was alone in the cage of her former owner, then there is no hope in future for her at this time. Only one person appears who brings happiness to her. While talking with him, she had forgotten all the memories and grief. Seeing jumps to the present, where she reveals that she has decided to stay with him. Both are watching her in shock. Snow also remembers when she climbs on the tree to grab his attention. She can hurt herself but wants to take his brother on a holiday so that she can spend time with him. Snow knows that she is not going to change her mind and he screams because of frustration. Seeing changes when he is taking leave from them, but he doesn't forget to warn him about getting hurt by his sister. He also tries to divert the attention of his bosses, who can take their lives for him. His family is more important than his job. Snow tells him to take care of his sister when he confronts the hunter, because they can't always run from them. So he should give priority to his sister's life instead of himself. Otherwise he will kill him no matter if he has to contract with a demon to sell out his soul. Snow takes leave from her and promises that he will meet with her again. Marvis also goes from here, because this place is also unsafe for them. Moreover, he thinks that Snow and his sister will amuse him. Barbas has found his entertainment and bored life has ended. This is how the second episode of The Tale of Outcasts ends. If you want the third part, comment below with the immortal demon. In the previous episode, Snow told Marbles to take care of his sister Wisteria and he left from there. A night when darkness prevails, then we see a girl. The girl is terrified and running as if someone is chasing her. At the same time, she stops at the shore of the river. The water is still, but suddenly starts moving as if someone wants to come outside. Her eyes are going to burst out while seeing the colossal monster. He is looking at her and she starts screaming. In the following morning, Marvis and Wisteria reached Warrington. They have come here by train and Wisteria can locate this place through sniffing. She thinks this place is lovely and happy to come here. Apart from this is the same place where the girl's murder occurred, but they don't know about it. Marvis is looking at the progress of this city. That is all because of industrialization. Wisteria thinks that it will be fantastic to live here, but Marvis is going to make her feel more pleasant things. At the same time, we notice that girl is chasing them, but a little demon named Mori is also with her when she tells the demon about them. He is ready to do this alone. Is this contractor? Scene changes when Marvis catches him with his hair and asks the reason for stealing. The little demon doesn't know that Marvis is an immortal demon because he is in human form. So he wants to trap him, but Marvis has caught him and is in no mood to leave him when Wisteria inquires about what is going on. Then he reveals that this little demon will steal things from her. Wisteria asks him to leave the demon, but Marbles wants to know the person behind him further. He has tried to torment Wisteria, so he wants to teach the lesson to the owner of this demon. Marvis also ties his hair around his neck. Meanwhile, Harriet arrives. who is the contractor of Mori Barbas, thinks his master should be a man, and he is surprised to see a girl when he tightens his hair again. Harriet shouts to leave Mori, but he has made up a plan on how to deal with them. Also Wisteria inquires if they can see the things around here. Marvis gives her a positive response. It means she has made a pact with Mori by giving him other things. Marvis puts a condition in front of her. If she wants to save Mori, she must make Wisteria eat. She has gone through a tiresome voyage. That's why she needs food to accumulate her energy, and they need to pay the bill. Also, he shares that Wisteria consumes a lot. Wisteria has gotten embarrassed by listening to it. She also tells him that he doesn't need to disclose this portion now. Marvis threatens them if they don't do according to his words. He is planning to take out all Mori's orphans by listening to it. Mori and Harriet are terrified and agree to do anything because they don't have any other option, except this scene changes where they are all in the restaurant. Harriet orders 5 sandwiches, but the man cutting the meat ignores him as if he doesn't hear. Harriet returns the wallet to Marbles and asks him to order. She reveals that everyone knows about her stealing business, so they are not talking to her and ignoring her as if they are great. Marvis also understands her situation and takes the purse from her. Also, she takes Wisteria aside and starts communicating with her. Wisteria is also happy talking with her. Meanwhile, Marvis is still watching the girl continuously. He is trying to judge the girl for who she is, but he has jumped to the conclusion and understood. In addition, Mori arrives and asks him to keep a secret. Marvis also wants to refrain from indulging in other matters, so he has decided to keep his mouth shut, and Mori happily goes from here. Marba is still watching Harriet, who is talking with Wisteria. They are in the Haute Hotel at night, and Marvis tells her they need to go from here tomorrow. Wisteria is surprised because they recently arrived here now. Marba is asking her to leave tomorrow. He explains that this city is different from her standard further. He wants to avoid trouble here, so they need to move from here. Wisteria, who is glad to meet with Harriet, is depressed because she needs to go from here. She becomes pleased when Marbles discloses that they are going to his friend's place. She also teases him that his friend exists in the world, so Wisteria is curious and wants to meet the person as soon as possible. At the same time, we look at Mori, who has heard that they are moving, where his eyes start shining and he plans to let them move from here. The following morning, Marbles is reading the newspaper that reveals the incident of murder near the river. In the meantime, Wisteria has also arrived and Marbles is about to stand to move. At the same time, he feels that his back has freezed, even though he cannot move, and that is all happening because he is turning into a human after a long time. Wisteria is so much concerned about him and wants to do something. She tells him that we should move tomorrow. In this condition, they can't go. Wisteria's stomach also demands food, but she tries to ignore it. She says that she will not die if she will not eat today. As they are talking, then Mori and Harriet arrive. They came here with them, but Marvis is not lenient with them. Harriet also reveals that she is coming here because Mori is provoking her to come here. Also, Marvis says that they are about to leave, so they don't need to converse with them. Meanwhile, Wisteria's stomach calls for food and Harriet starts laughing. She asks them to buy food. Knowing they don't have money, however, Mori also discloses that Marvis is also looking exhausted, so he has made up his mind to become their host. Marbles also can't present his objection because Wisteria is hungry and he needs to care for her. Scene changes when they take Wisteria outside the building, where he motivates her to walk but needs clarification because Marba is away. He has been tired enough to death, so he wants to rest. Also, Mori motive invades her to speak because people don't care about them further. They are unable to see the demons, so Wisteria excludes the relation between breath and moves. She is feeling good while spending time with them. Wisteria has also made up her mind to reveal what things she is facing. Aside from this, she is going outside first time without Marbles after the pact with her eyes. Scene changes to the past where Marbles is threatening them. If something happened to Wisteria, then he would kill them. They also have terrified by listening to it and call him a monster. In addition, he binds his red hair with her finger. If something happens to her, he will learn about. Scene jumps to the present where they take her to multiple places. She takes her to the museum and park where she enjoys the flower. Fragrance Harriet also brings food for her and Wisteria enjoys their company. After that, they take her to the river where the murders have occurred. but she needs to be made aware of it, and Harriet apologizes for taking her here. But Mori wants to take her to the river. Wisteria shows that it's normal, but she knows Marbles will be angry. They start talking and Harriet reveals her happiness by talking with her. Also Wisteria inquires about how she has made pact with Mori. She reveals that she is used to stealing things after her parents' death. She is doing the pickpocket job to live life, because without money, no one can survive. One day when she robs someone's money. The owner knew about the robbery. He locates her and beats her bitterly. At the same time, Mori arrives and they make a pact. She has decided to give her soul when she dies and he will help her steal things now. Mori always helps her to rob things and she likes him. If Mori will not help at this critical time, she is sure she will die. Wisteria thinks about how much their story is similar. She has also led a miserable life. After that, Marbles arrives in her life and saves her from all the trouble. However, she comes out of her thoughts when Harriet tells Mori to return. She knows that if they don't take her back, Marbles will kill them, but Mori has taken her with evil planning. So he asks her to leave. Wisteria here and Marbles will take her with him. Harriet is unable to understand what he is saying to her. She is not ready to leave Wisteria behind. Also, he tries to make her understand that someone is locating her, so they need to go from here as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the water starts moving and the monster appears. Monster is happy because he has found the girl he is searching for, but Harriet is unable to understand what is going on. At the same time, Marvis also understood that Wisteria is in trouble. The hair that Marva's bond starts shining, so he wakes up from the couch and runs to help her. The monster is also about to catch Harriet, but a bullet refrains the monster from approaching her, so monster is unable to accomplish his task. Also, two strange personalities who are knights from the Sword Cross Knight introduce themselves. They have also known that this monster is the root of murders in the city. Both are confident that they will knock the beast down. Wisteria repeats the statement and has understood that they belong to her brother. Meanwhile, Demon punches at the ground and Nami dodges it. The punch has did a massive hole in the ground. Also, the girl shoots the monster in his chest and is wounded, but powerful enough to fight with them again. Now Nami has decided to take out his sword. Sword Cross Knight takes out the sword when the need arises, so he thinks that it's the right time to take out the sword. He jumps, takes the sword, and strikes the monster with it in a fantastic scene. Mori can see that the monster's head has been cut off. He has beaten the monster without any struggle, so he asks Eteria if they should go from there. When they are about to leave, then Nami asks them to stop. He has recognized that Wisteria is blind. Also, he can sense strong power in her. He can locate this power through his device. Nami inquires about the reason why she can be so much powerful. He also thinks she is a demon and is about to take out his sword. At the same time, a strong wind surrounds them and breaks his sword. He is also worried about seeing that how powerful the demon is. In addition, Marba apologizes to her for coming late. Nami has also understood that he is red, shared monster and most potent. The girl with him restrains him from messing with him, because his power is unbeatable. However, he is not listening to her. He is going to attack Marmus, but Marbles shakes the earth. Niskate has gone to the ground and is severely injured. In addition, Nami has understood that he is far beyond his thinking, but he has a strong belief in his sword. Now Marbles tells him to go from here because he is not powerful enough to beat him. Nami doesn't lose heart and attacks with his sword, but Marvis catches the sword with his hair. He becomes astonished and steps back. Marbles thinks about the kind of sword and who can cut his hair. Nami clears his doubt and reveals that this sword is Japanese katana. This sword is the sharpest in the world. Because of this, he gets angry and his next prey will be Miss Kate. Nami is still mad and attacks him several times. Marvis is trying to dodge these attacks with his hair, but his hair is still cutting in this effort. At the same time, he turns the sword into two pieces because it was weak from the side when Marvis is going to attack him. Miss Kate appears and shoots at Harriet, but Mori comes in front of her and saves her. This Kate says let them go otherwise. Her next prey will be a girl, so Marvis become calm and let them go. But Harriet is weeping bitterly for Mori when they flee from here. Marbles wants to take their life because they have intentionally tried to harm Wisteria. Wisteria prohibits him from doing this. Meanwhile, Marba reveals that she is a ghost and everyone is shocked to listen to it. Even Harriet also doesn't know that she is a ghost and dead. Also Mori reveals that he is trying to save the life. Who is a ghost? He knows that Harriet is a ghost, but he still protects her. Mori discloses the story of the girl who dies in the river, but she hopes that everyone will die along with her. The demon is also in the river and listens to her desire, and they make a pact in exchange for her life, so he is killing everyone to fulfill the girl's wish. One day this monster also kills Harriet and Mori cannot do anything. Also Harriet has understood why her wallet is always filled with money. Further, people always ignore her, because she is a ghost. She doesn't bother about it, but now she has understood everything. So she thanks Mori, who is always there to protect her, but Mori blames him for not protecting her and she has to lose her life. On the contrary, Mori is happy because she has spent the most valuable time with Mori. Now she has decided to do something for him. She tells him to consume her soul, but he is not ready to do it, because if he does, he will not be eligible to see her again. In addition, she will disappear from the world, but she convinces him that she will be the part of his body and Harriet happily wants to do it. Harriet also reveals that when she is in a critical situation, God doesn't appear to help her. In reality, it is Mori who has helped her a lot and also has given her the true meaning of life. So she wants to do something for him. By giving her soul to him, she says that they will be all together when they will apart. Harriet also hugs him and Mori reveals that he thinks that he has tricked her. He is a weak demon and no one wants to make a pact with her after spending time with her. He feels that it's a pleasant moment that he is spending with her. Mori is continuously weeping and sharing deep thoughts in his heart. Harriet also says that her feeling is also not different from his. At the same time, she starts disappearing from this place. When she disappears, he takes her hat with him and returns. Wisteria starts weeping because she thinks that their situation is also the same, but Marvis clears his doubt that Harriet has made a pact with a weak demon. On the contrary, she has interacted with the strongest demon who can protect her. Even no one is daring enough to cast an evil eye on her. He also feels pity for Harriet, who is gone but taught him a lot. He thinks the humans are fragile, but they create a connection with a demon, some connection he is feeling for Wisteria and also enjoying her company. Marvis tells her that Harriet was smiling at the last moment, which is shocking. In the previous episode, Harriet sacrificed her soul to save Mori's life. In the following scene, we see a frozen place where everything is hidden under the snow. There is also a marvelous place where we see Lady Diana with a cold expression. At the same time, Nefarious arrives, who is in monster form, and tells her about the Scout of Sword Cross Knights. He still doesn't want to leave him, but Lady Diana asks him to stay out of this man, her property, and spare him. On the other hand, Nefarious is in favor of killing him because they can't leave their enemies like that. Also, Nefarious doesn't forget to give her reference to Wisteria. When Lady Diana thinks about the blind girl, then she gets emotional. She wants to make friendship with her, but her status doesn't allow her to make friends with her. Also, Nefarious makes her remember that she should place her motive. Nefarious takes the scout outside from her property, according to her orders. Because of this objective she has called him. When he goes, she reveals that she cannot forget her motive. In addition, we can see the dead bodies on the dining table. It reveals that something has happened before here. Also, she knows how to deal with the situation she has created in the past. Scene changes to Snowbound Manor. This place is also covered with snow because this place is near the palace of Lady Diana. Here we meet with Wisteria and Marmus. Both are going from here when the snow is falling, but Wisteria is feeling cold because she has the flu. Also, Marba motivates her to move on because they have to reach the place before fall night. Wisteria is also tired to death, but she always obeys his orders. On the other hand, Marba watches the map and discloses that Lady Diana's palace is near. A shine appears in her eyes by listening to it, but it is not for too long because Marvis has no intention of staying here. Instead, he wants to reach his destination as soon as possible. After listening to it, she becomes sad but couldn't do anything. But soon, she falls on the snow because she is too much tired. However, Marba asks her to stand up because they can't stay here. When he looks at her, he understands that the situation is critical. She is barely taking a breath, and her condition has worsened. However, Lady Diana and Nabarius were in the sitting area where Nabarius suddenly stood. When Lady Diana inquires, he reveals that he is feeling the presence of a demon. Also, this demon is not ordinary and is the strongest. He also moves to check who this demon is. When he jumps from the window, he looks at Marvis, who is coming to their house for help, but Nabarius inquires a rude question about what he is doing here. Barba scolds him that it is not the right time to ask further. He needs to help Wisteria, and Navris has also felt that something is wrong with Wisteria. Scene changes when Wisteria is in Lady Diana's room. Also, she scolds Marvis for carrying the girl in the snow. She thinks that Marbles is not a gentleman treating the lady like this. Apart from this, she discloses that Wisteria has a cold due to exhaustion and snowy weather. When Navrius looks at Lady Diana scolds Marvis, he makes fun of him. Navrius also starts laughing at him that the mighty demon is compelled to listen to scold Diana. Also, he teases him that he can live like this for a whole century. Lady Diana also tries to prohibit him from ridiculing Marba, but he doesn't listen to her and irritates Marbles by calling him a babysitter. Mob is as pissed off and wants to teach him a lesson. But Nabarius is not the demon who was bothered by these warnings. He doesn't stop himself from making fun of him, and Marba threatens him with death. Seeing them fighting, Lady Diana asks them to get out of there, because Wisteria needs rest, even though she has thrown them out of the room. They are still ready to fight. Also, Lady Diana, who has understood that she has made a contract with him, she looks at her and Wisteria is sleeping and looking better. Moreover, we can see Marba in the sitting area. His imagination jumps to the past where he looks at Wisteria, who has fallen because of tiredness. Now he has jumped to the conclusion that humans are weak. Also, Navris takes him to the present situation and advises him that he should know more about humans. Although humans are fragile, sometimes they prove to be helpful for Marba, who remains in his attitude. Take this advice. In other words, he tells him not to speak more. Nabarius is astonished to see his attitude while sitting in his house. He never forgets to mention his behavior at his house. Also, he discloses that they are dealing with a horrible situation, as Marvis has examined his house. He knows their house has no servants, which is weird, but he takes this as the part of the critical situation. Apart from this, we look at Snow, who has returned to the Knights. He inquires about the situation that could be more favorable. The nurse reveals to him that the commander has returned. In addition, they are up to something bigger, and he becomes astonished to listen to it in the next scene. We look at Commander, who is assigning his subordinates a great mission. Also, their next mission is Lady Diana's house. According to the royal order, the astonishing thing is that the commander is also participating in this because they are going to confront with a demon who is more powerful than a Staroff. Upon hearing this, all subordinates are astonished. Those thinking of fighting alone with this demon women have given up this idea. In addition, the commander remembers to be cautious with Lady Diana, because she has made a pact with Navars which can be dangerous for them. The following morning, Wisteria wakes up and she is happy. She also expresses her feeling in front of Lady Diana. She also wipes out her wax with a silk handkerchief. Nabarius is astonished that she is doing this with her cloth. Although Lady Diana is also glad to meet her, she knows that she must ask them to go by listening to it. Wisteria has become depressed, but she inquires about the reason behind this decision. She knows that a blind girl can't be helpful, but she wants to know the situation. So Lady Diana reveals that 350 years ago, her family member, the Earl, made a pact with the demon. After doing, the male, who is the heir, can see the demon's royal officials took advantage of this ability and allowed them to serve the court, so they are making sure to eliminate the demons and also can inform them about them to official. They always have a bell in their hand. By ringing the bell, they inform about the demon and they take action with this action. The Black Belt family has become famous, but rival has also approached, and they have made their name by capturing the demons. However, she believes that they are doing their duty. On the other hand, their duties have finished, because her brother cannot see the demon's sword. Cross Knights want to take advantage of it. Meanwhile, Wisteria wants to disclose that her brother is also in the Sword Cross Knights, but Marvis doesn't allow her to say any word because they can't put her in danger. Aside from this, her brother has tried to revolt, but he can't do anything because he has no power to see demons. Now the Black Bell name has been ruined and Sword Cross Knights will come to avail the opportunity also. She knows that this palace will soon turn into war. That's why she wants to let them go as soon as Wisteria rectifies at night. Marvis goes to her room and inquires about her health. Wisteria gives him a positive response, but Marvis has also realized that he has done wrong to her. Also, he should make her compelling to walk on the snow for only a short time, so he asks for forgiveness and advises her to inform him if something happens, because he would be happy to stay with her. Marvis has also decided not to hurry and walk along with her. At the same time, Wisteria shows her concern about Lady Diana. She knows that Lady Diana is against Sword Cross Knights, so her brother and Lady Diana both are on the opposite side. In addition, it will be difficult to see the fight between the people she cherishes most. Only she can hopes that they wouldn't confront in the fight. Apart from this, she knows that Lady Diana is on the right path and wants to revive her family's status. So she is not the one who can judge her. In the meantime, Naberius, listening to them, praises her thoughts. He assumes that Wisteria has rectified, so he asks them to leave, because they have seen the situation and know that they are coming toward them. So they can't put them in the problem and ask them to go away. We also see Lady Diana, whom Lord Stanley and his subordinates have attacked. Despite being scared, she smiles and is ready to confront them. She welcomes them as if they are her guest, but wrathful Shiwan takes permission from Lord Stanley. Lord Stanley is not happy to meet with her and considers her enemy to permit him. Shiwan has gotten permission and moves to her with his weapon, but when he is about to take off her head, Navrius arrives and makes his attack useless. Also, he has thrown him away from the window. On the other hand, Marvis is taking Wisteria away by holding her in his hand, but she continuously thinks about Lady Diana, whom she considers her friend. Also, she wants to help her, but Marvis doesn't want to invite any danger into his life again by seeing her face. He is ready to see them, but he has decided not to meddle in this affair. Barbas knows that Navrius is not a demon whom anyone can kill quickly. Apart from this, Nabrius has beaten all the people severely. Also, Vivian is hanging in the arm of Nabrius. In the meantime, Shiwan again runs to attack him, but he pushes him away. He wants to take his life, but Lady Diana doesn't allow him to do this. Lord Stanley has realized that she has made a pact with a demon who is most potent also. She reveals that she only wants her family status and asks them to go from here, but at the same time, some lightning swords move toward her, seeing changes to Wisteria, who feels like something terrible has happened. She shares her idea with Marmus, but he doesn't take it seriously. However, Naberius comes before her and swords penetrate his body. His blood spills on her and Lady Diana is worried about him. At the same time, Commander is quite confident that he has died. He asks Lady Diana to wake him and show him other tricks, so she wipes out her tears and tells Navrius to wake up, because it's time for action further. Her family's survival depends upon this fight and she can't turn back on this. Also, Nabrius is the demon who can't die with such an easy trick. By listening to it, Nabrius wakes up and is ready to knock him down. He moves to the commander and stabs his neck with his sword. Blood comes from his neck when he penetrates his hand into his body. Also, he throws him away, but the most shocking incident is in front of him. He is not dead. Despite the severe injuries, Lady Diana knows that he is not a human, but Navrius is not ready to believe that he is not a human and moves to attack him. He throws him to the wall, but Commander is still alive. Now they are fighting and Commander has again inflicted him with severe injuries, but he is still ready to fight and understands that he is not human. Marvis is watching this, and his mouth has opened that humans can give him severe injuries, seeing that he is in a problem. Marbas runs to Navrius and slaps his face with his red hair. Also, he remembers to warn Wisteria not to leave this place and stay hidden from the enemies. Aside from this, Commander is shocked because he doesn't know about the presence of the second demon. On the other hand, Marba is scolding him for how a human can beat him. Dabrius clarifies his position by saying that this commander is not a human, but he thinks that Navrius is making excuses and starts reprimanding him. He thinks Navrius has put the name of 13 calamities of the wasteland into dust. However, Navrius, who is irritated, punches his face for scolding him. In the meantime, Commander is thinking about the red demon. He also thinks that he is the same demon about whose Technami has informed in the report. Now he diverts their attention toward him and shares his opinion that demon doesn't fight together, but thinks they are comrades. Also, they are going to fight together. This statement makes them furious and both punch his stomach. Now Marvis is shocked and knows that Navrius is right. Also Navrius is wrath because he is also saying the same thing, but Marba is not ready to believe him. Both have united to beat him and the commander can see a strong aura. Nevertheless, Marvis has no intention of indulging in their affair, but he has inflicted it and has no option except to face it. Commander knows that he can't face them, so he wants to offer Lady Diana. Lady Diana has no power in the same cases with her brother. So he says he doesn't intend to shed more blood and asks her to share this message with her brother by listening to it. Navarius challenges him to fight, but he has no intention of proceeding with the fight. Lady Diana also has no intention of shedding the blood. So she agrees. In the following scene, Wisteria is worried about Lady Diana. Lady Diana calms her and says that she is okay. She has become glad by listening to it and the happiness can be seen on her face, but Lady Diana doesn't know why she is so much happy now. Wisteria reveals that she considers her as friend by listening to it. Lady Diana is also pleased because she always wanted to be her friend. Aside from this, we look at Navrius, who is on his knees. He is complaining about how the commander has made holes in his body, so Marvis helps him to stand up and Lady Diana assumes. They have become friends, but both become furious and they pretend as if they are not friends. However, she tells Wisteria to come inside because it's too cold outside. In the following scene, we see Marbles in the servant's clothes. He is angry and doesn't know why he is doing this, so Lady Diana reveals that she will meet with Commander or Royals as a lady, so it would be good if she has a servant. However, she does have a servant, but she asks him to become her servant. In the meantime, Nabarius arrives, who is in the master's dress. He is going to meet with them by becoming Noah Black Bell. Also, he teases Marbles by calling himself master, but he wants to beat him hard. Marvis is trying to control his anger, which is overwhelming. This is how the 4th episode of The Tale of Outcasts ends. If you are excited for 5th part, comment below. The Immortal Demon.